Welcome to the deep dive. We take stacks of sources, articles, research notes, all that good stuff, and pull out the key insights for you. Today, we're jumping into the, well, really fascinating world of Neville Goddard. This was a guy who, like decades before manifestation was even a buzzword, had this really profound, almost radical way of seeing reality. He basically taught that your imagination isn't just for, daydreaming. He said it's divine, and that your assumptions, the things you really believe deep down, they literally solidify, they become fact. So, our mission here is to give you a shortcut, a way to grasp his revolutionary ideas straight from our source material and understand why they're still so incredibly relevant.
Absolutely. And what's so striking about Neville, I think, is how different his stuff is from just, basic wishful thinking or positive thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about just feeling good.
Yeah.
He gave us this whole metaphysical blueprint,
Yeah.
a way to literally change your future, but from the inside, not by pushing harder on the outside.
Yeah.
His main thing, his big truth was, you become what you imagine.
Hmm.
And he wasn't
Yeah.
speaking metaphorically there, not at all. He meant it as a literal, testable spiritual science. It's a total shift in how you even see the world.
Okay, so we've set the scene. Pretty radical ideas. But who was this guy? Neville Goddard. This quiet man from Barbados telling us our imagination is God. Let's dig into his story a bit. Our sources say he was born Neville Lancelot Goddard, February 19th, 1905, in Barbados. Big family, Anglican, one of 9 kids.
Yeah, and his path got really interesting when he was, 17? He moves to New York City, wants to get into theater, ends up dancing, performing on Broadway. So
Yeah.
very much, involved in the material world. But then the big shift happens in his late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
He meets Abdullah, described as this mysterious Ethiopian rabbi, an esoteric teacher. And he's the one who tells Neville, essentially, look, God and man, not separate. Your imagination, that's God.
Mm.
And Neville himself said later, I found God to be my own wonderful human imagination. That meeting, that idea, it just completely rerouted his life.
Oh, okay. And from there, his whole focus changes, right? He goes from the stage to the lecture platform,
Okay.
giving these apparently very calm, very steady, but like deeply mystical talks. This was from the 1940s right through the early 70s, cities like LA, San Francisco, New York. But the interesting thing, and maybe what sets him apart, is he wasn't really marketing himself, not as some guru. He just stood up and taught with this quiet intensity, telling people, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and continue feeling that it is fulfilled until that which you feel objectifies itself. Just live in the end state.
Mm-hmm. He passed away in 1972, age 67. But what he left behind, it's huge. Our sources show 10 books, hundreds of transcribed lectures. It's basically a complete metaphysical library. It's really a testament to his focus, and this body of work, well, it's still massively influencing how people think about manifestation and consciousness today. His life really became about exploring that inner power he discovered.
Right. So that's the man. Now let's get into the heart of it, the core ideas, because this is where it gets really interesting. These foundational principles that just turned everything on its head for him. First one, the law of assumption.
Yeah, this is absolutely central, kind of the bedrock of it all. The idea is whatever you assume to be true will become true for you. Simple, but profound. He taught that your whole world, everything you experience, isn't just influenced by your assumptions. It's a direct mirror reflecting them back to you, often the ones you don't even know you have. So it's not about forcing things on the outside. It's about changing your inner state, actually embodying the feeling of already having or already being what you desire. He famously said, dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment. It all starts inside, in consciousness.
Okay, so it starts in consciousness,
Yeah.
which leads right into his next big idea. Imagination creates reality. Not just, pleasant fantasy, but actual causation. Can you unpack that? Because
Yeah.
imagination feels so unreal sometimes.
Right, that's the leap. Neville taught that imagination is literally God in action. It's the creative power itself. So what you vividly imagine, what you really hold and feel as real in your mind's eye, he believed it has to eventually show up in your experience. It's not just a possibility. It's like a spiritual law.
Yeah.
He put it so simply, all things exist to the human imagination and all things shall be made manifest. So yeah, it's a way beyond just fantasizing. It's seeing imagination as the actual source, the primary creator in your life.
Okay, so imagination is the blueprint. Then Neville says feeling is the secret. This is like the energetic glue, right? The thing that makes it stick. Why is feeling so critical here?
Crucial distinction. Feeling is everything because that's the language your subconscious mind understands. Think of your subconscious like super fertile soil. Your thoughts are like seeds, but it's the feeling, the emotion you attach to that thought. That's the water, the sunlight. That's what makes the seed actually sprout and grow. The subconscious responds to feeling. not just dry words or pictures alone. When you fuse feeling and imagination, that's when your inner world starts actively shaping your outer world. Like you said, it is not what you want that you attract. You attract what you believe to be true, or rather, what you feel to be true. Your dominant feeling creates.
So if we buy into these huge ideas, how do we actually do it? One of his most famous practical techniques was esectates, state akin to sleep.
Right, SATs. It's that state, when you're really drowsy, relaxed, maybe just before you fall asleep or just as you're waking up, your conscious mind is quieting down and your subconscious is way more open, more suggestible. Neville said, use this state. Visualize your desire, but crucially, visualize it as already done. Feel the feeling of having it now. And by doing that regularly, that inner image, soaked in feeling, starts to, as he put it, harden into fact. He explained why it's so potent. The subconscious never sleeps. Sleep is the door through which the conscious passes to be creatively joined to the subconscious. It's like a direct hotline to your creative power.
And another really powerful tool he taught was revision, mentally rewriting the past, which sounds almost too easy, or maybe too powerful.
It is incredibly powerful because what it does is change your emotional connection to the past. Revision isn't about pretending something didn't happen. It's about going back in your mind and reimagining an event the way you wish it had happened. Feel that version. When you do that, you change the emotional charge of the memory, and that changes its power over your present and what you expect in the future. Neville really stressed this, saying, change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. If some past event is holding you back with negative feelings, revising it can genuinely set you free.
Okay, so let's say you're doing this. You're assuming the feeling, maybe doing SATs, revision. How does the desire actually show up? Like in the real physical world, Neville called this the bridge of incidents.
The bridge of incidents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is his term for that, unseen. But he believed inevitable. Chain of events. Sometimes they make perfect sense, seem logical. Other times they feel totally random, even miraculous. But they all connect to bring your inner assumption into your outer reality. And it's all orchestrated, he said, by your subconscious mind working with the universe, or universal intelligence. The really liberating part, Neville insisted, you do not need to devise the means by which your desire will be fulfilled. You don't have to figure out the how. Your subconscious handles that. Your job is the what and the feeling.
Right, which points to what the bridge isn't. It's not something you're supposed to control or like micromanage step by step. He warned that trying to force specific outcomes just messes things up, right? Clogs the channel. But okay, you said it can feel boring, confusing, or even chaotic. It might involve setbacks like losing a job. How do you tell the difference between the bridge unfolding and just life happening, genuine problems? How do you know?
That's a really key question. And honestly, it's where a lot of people get tripped up. Neville's point was the bridge is built by your subconscious, by this larger intelligence, not by your conscious ego trying to figure it all out.
Right.
So in the moment, you don't always know for sure. Your logical mind can't see the whole picture, how A connects to Z through Q. The difference comes down to your inner state. Have you truly assumed the wish fulfilled? Do you feel it is done deep down? If you have, then any apparent setback or confusion, it's just part of the rearrangement. It's clearing space, moving pieces around for the new reality. It might feel like a loss or a delay, but it's a necessary step. His advice was simple. Don't judge the bridge while you're walking it. Just don't do it. Your only job, he stressed, is to stay loyal to the end result. The feeling. The outer world has to eventually catch up to your dominant inner state.
Oh, okay. It's counterintuitive, but also really empowering if you can trust it. It makes me wonder, how does this bridge of incidents idea connect with, say, modern physics, quantum physics? It sounds weirdly contemporary.
It really does, doesn't it? There are some striking parallels people draw between Neville's bridge and concepts in quantum theory. Think about how in quantum physics, a particle doesn't seem to have a definite state until it's observed. Well, Neville kind of taught that reality is similar fluid full of potential until our consciousness observes or assumes a specific outcome. It's like your inner assumption, your feeling state, is the act of observation that collapses all those possibilities into your specific reality. Once you assume something is real, with feeling, it's like everything in the quantum field starts subtly reorganizing to match that assumption. Every person you bump into, every call you get or don't get, cancellations, invitations, traffic jams, delays, they stop being random. They become like quantum variables reshuffling themselves, part of that unseen chain, all working together to reflect your dominant inner state back to you. As he put it, beautifully, I think, events must pass through a bridge of incidents, but they are part of the pattern. a pattern set by your consciousness.
It's incredible. And Neville didn't just talk about this stuff, he wrote it all down. He left this amazing library for anyone wanting to understand and use these principles.
Absolutely. His books are invaluable. If you're looking for where to start, some key ones are At Your Command. That was way back in 1939. Really foundational. God is your imagination, period. Then Feeling is the secret from 44. Super short, super powerful, really hammers home why feeling is the key to the subconscious. The Power of Awareness, 1952. Essential stuff. You only experience what you are conscious of being. Really digs into that. And The Law and the Promise from 1961. This one's great because it's full of stories, testimonials from his students about how they use these ideas to manifest things. Makes it very real.
And the lectures, too, right? So many transcripts are out there. Things like Live in the End, The Secret of Imagining, The Pruning Shears of Revision. Looking at all of this, it definitely brings up questions, especially if you're new to thinking this way. Let's tackle a few common ones, like, was Neville Goddard religious, traditional?
Good question. He was raised Christian, yeah. But his teachings pretty quickly went way beyond traditional doctrines. They became deeply mystical. He used the Bible constantly, but saw it as spiritual symbolism, not literal history. He viewed the stories and characters as psychological dramas playing out inside us. So Scripture wasn't about ancient history for him. It was a map of human consciousness, revealing the divine power of imagination within everyone. He wasn't pushing a religion. He was pointing to a direct experience of God as your own awareness.
That's a really important distinction. Okay, so if it's all about consciousness, what about free will? Did Neville believe we have it? Or are we just, like, playing out our assumptions?
He definitely believed in free will, but he called it spiritual free will, meaning your freedom lies in choosing your state of consciousness. You choose your experiences by choosing what you assume, what you feel, what you identify with internally. It's not about controlling every little external event, but about fundamentally shifting your reality by assuming a different inner state, a different I am. That's where the real power, the real freedom is, according to Neville. Choosing what you dwell on.
Okay, makes sense. But let's get practical. Can you actually use this stuff to manifest, the big things people want? Money, love, health.
Absolutely. Unequivocally, yes. Neville taught all things are possible through imagination and belief. His students reported manifesting everything, finding specific partners, attracting large sums of money, healing physical conditions, completely changing careers. He himself shared many personal examples. The only limit, he said again and again, is the limit you place on yourself through your own assumptions about what's possible for you. If you can truly conceive it and feel it as real in your imagination, impress the subconscious, it has to come forth.
Right. So for someone listening who's intrigued by all this, where's the best place to start? There's so much material.
Yeah, it can seem like a lot. I usually suggest starting with maybe Feeling is the Secret. It's short and gets right to the core. Or The Power of Awareness for a slightly deeper dive into the concepts. Then maybe read The Law and the Promise to see the real-world stories, which can be really inspiring. But honestly, the most important thing is just start practicing. Try essays. Try revision. Start consciously choosing your assumptions, even in small ways, every day. Reading is great, but doing it is where the magic happens. You got to test it for yourself.
We talked about the bridge of incidents feeling chaotic. Can it actually look like straight-up failure? Make you think, oh man, I messed up?
Yes, definitely. And that's a really common point of confusion, actually. What looks like a total setback, a failure, might absolutely be part of the bridge. It could be the divine setup, like you said. People often misread it when, something dissolves or there's a loss or a delay. The classic example is someone wants a specific dream job, assumes it, then gets fired from their current job. Looks like disaster.
Yeah, totally.
But then weeks later, the perfect opportunity lands in their lap, something they couldn't have even found or been available for from the old position. The universe sometimes has to clear the decks, to make space for what you've assumed.
Which leads to maybe the biggest practical worry. Can you control the bridge? Or worse, can you mess it up? Like derail the whole manifestation?
Okay, two parts. Can you control it? No, not consciously. Trying to micromanage how it unfolds, forcing specific steps, that usually just creates resistance, frustration, blocks the natural flow. Your job isn't the how. Can you mess it up? Well, not irreparably, no. Not if you keep returning to the feeling, the state of the wish fulfilled. The only real way to mess up is to persistently give your energy and belief to the opposite of your desire, to dwell in doubt, assume failure. But even then, the universe is always just responding to your dominant inner state. Your dominant vibration is not judging your occasional fear or doubt. The bridge might just reroute, take a different path based on your dominant assumption. But it doesn't just vanish if you keep coming back to facing your end result. Your inner state is always the guide.
When you boil it all down, Neville Goddard's message is just so profound, isn't it? Your imagination is divine. Your assumptions create. Your consciousness is the cause of it all. He wasn't offering shortcuts or gimmicks. He was really asking you, asking each individual to be brave enough to turn inward, to claim the power that's already there, to realize you are the operant power in your own life.
Exactly. And he taught from his own lived experience. He shared how he manifested specific things in his own life by deliberately reshaping his inner world, his assumptions, his feelings, not by struggling against the outer world. And that's why his teachings feel so alive today, I think.
Yeah.
They're timeless principles. They worked in the 40s. They work now in our crazy modern world. And they'll likely keep working as long as people have desires and the courage to explore the limitless power within themselves.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe something for you to think about. What's one deep-seated assumption, maybe one you don't even realize you have? An assumption about yourself or money or love or the world that if you could truly shift it, truly embody a new one, what new reality might unlock for you? Maybe it's time to put some of these ideas to the test in your own life, see what happens.